Hi there, hope you're all well. Neil from ratinghorses.com. Well, Cheltenham is literally just round the corner now. Indeed, this time next week, we shall be just a few hours away from the very first race. Now, if you're not yet a member, then I would sincerely ask you to jump on board for the simple reason that recently, well, just over a week ago, we have launched a new part of the service, which is called the System Members Picks. And a couple of weeks ago, well, a little bit longer than that, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we emailed all members to ask them if they'd got any strategies, systems, ideas that they personally use to help them find profitable picks and winners. And the response was fantastic. We narrowed down all the systems received, and these systems are now live on a new spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet is updated with any qualifying picks from those systems from the members. We've got one system that is showing a 50% strike rate at the moment. There's a couple of systems where it's very selective betting and we've not yet had a qualifying pick. So all in all, that is a new product, but most importantly, we have a Cheltenham festival system, and this system has shown over 60 points profit over the last 2 years. Now, this is a selective system solely based on the Cheltenham festival meeting, and I can say that there's been just 13 picks over the last 2 years, with a 54% strike rate, but with an incredible return on investment of over 231%. Basically, if you were backing this system to £10 each way selections, bearing in mind it is selective, so there's not a massive outlay there, you would have returned over £600 over the Cheltenham Festival over the last 2 years. So if you're not yet a member, get on board. Any membership level, it doesn't matter if it's bronze, silver, gold or platinum, will give you access to these new system picks, but more importantly that fantastic Cheltenham festival system. Of course, Cheltenham just literally around the corner, starting in a week's time. So if you're not yet a member, jump on board, get onto the website ratinghorses.com, choose your membership of your choice, and any membership level will give you free access to these new system picks. Okay, well, it's been a week or so since I've recorded a video, and as normal, I'm going to view the spreadsheet and choose a race and see if we can find some value, hopefully each way value. I'm aware that Wolverhampton is on the go tonight, and so that gives members a little bit of time to open the email and view the video. So hopefully I can find a race, albeit hopefully a handicap race. I've not delved too deeply into the ratings, but I was going to go at this 6 o'clock race, but I do know that that is a non-runner, Kentucky Kingdom, so I will leave that race alone. And the only other race really that's a handicap with 8 or more runners is this event, which is a poor event. It's a class 6, and there's not an awful lot of information for some of these, but we'll have a little dabble at this. Ideally, you're looking for races with at least a grade 4, class 4 event, so you're looking at the top of the tree, as it were, not around the roots, around the weeds, as it were, for the quality of racing. But we'll try have a little dabble at the 5 o'clock at Wolverhampton and see what happens. bear with me, I will have to have another drink. I've come down with a bit of a cold. Well, I'm not sure if it's a cold. I was out in the garden yesterday. I do suffer really badly with hay fever March, April, May time, around springtime, and then it seems to wear off. So I'm not sure if it's really bad hay fever having been in the garden yesterday or a bit of a cold. But we shall battle on, as they say. Right, the 5 o'clock at Wolverhampton. Let's just make a note of that. Okay, so if you've not watched the videos before, this is all done completely live. I use all the key criteria within the spreadsheet to try and narrow down the field, and then the final stage is to see if the horse is offering value or near to value, and then we make a decision on placing a possible bet. So it's 5 o'clock at Wolverhampton. We can see that there's quite a number of there's quite a distance from the top rated to the bottom rated, so I think we can easily dismiss probably the bottom 3 or 4 here. In fact, I'm going to be brave and straight away say I'm going to dismiss all these horses from rank 5th downwards. Okay, let's try and see if we can get this done quickly. So I'm on it straight away, looking at the 5 o'clock Wolverhampton race, and I'm looking at the top 4 because I'm looking at this key data here, the ratings, and then there's quite a drop off for these horses. So straight away, because there's a bit of a gap there, I'm just going to make a note of these top 4 horses, which are Twilight, Tone, Major Gatsby, Little Raven, and Homemade Andrea. Okay, so we can see these 4 horses all have had a fairly recent running within the last 5 weeks or so. Twilight Time was just over a week ago. Some decent form amongst these 4. We can see there's a key draw bias for Major Gatsby. Low numbers have trended positively in the last few years. So that's key. See, this is a 3-year-old race for handicap race for 3-year-olds. So that's a couple of these horses hasn't got an awful lot of form. But more importantly, if we look at the top 4, we can see that there's a little bit of information here. 3 of these are course and distance winners. Little Raven has won at the course, although not beat over today's trip of 7 furlongs. And apart from this one horse here, Royal Signet, that has got good key data on these 3 keys of rank for the OFS, the speed and the power rating, the top 4 are all pretty much within these 4 horses. So nothing to dismiss there. I'll have a look at the official ratings. Again, probably limited data here because these are just 3-year-old runners. We can see the Major Gatsby was off a mark of 50 6 runs ago, has dropped and then risen. 51 2 runs ago when it finished 3rd, then 52 when it won last time out. It's been put up another pound, so you could argue that the handicapper hasn't gone in too heavy on this horse. We're going to see that Liam Brown is the jockey, will be taking £7 off the back. Twilight Tone was off a mark of 52 last time out and won. Has been risen £6 for that win, which could be a little bit of a concern, but we say we do not, could well be a big improver. Little Raven has gone up £7 from each run, 4 runs ago. As you can see, that it was off a mark of 53, came 6th, then it was dropped £3 and 1, then it was put up £6 and 1, and then it was put up another £4, and then it finished 6th. So you could argue that the handicapper may well possibly be in the grip of this horse, because it's now running £4 higher than its previous winning mark. And Homemade Andrea is up just to £2 from 6 runs ago. Has been there or thereabouts on a couple of occasions, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 5th last time out, has been dropped £1. So again, not without chances. I'll just pop and have a look at the top rated power rating. 53, there's not an awful lot amongst these, to be honest with you. So nothing to take away from that. So let's have a look at the trainer form. Well, let's have a look at the lifetime stats for the horse first. We can see that Twilight Tone has just run once at this track and won. Indeed, if you do remember, it is a course and distance winner. In fact, 3 of these 4 are. At the distance, it's only won once at today's distance. And the going is 50% strike rate. Again, they're all very, very similar here. Little Raven, distance 1 in 4. So all very, very similar indeed. So not an awful lot to take away from that. Let's have a look at the recent trainer form. We can see that Rod Millman has had 5 runners in the last 14 days with the 1 winner. George Bohe, 1 winner from 17. No runners in the last 14 days for Bill Turner, and just the 1 runner for Robert Edry, and that failed to win. So not an awful lot again there to be too excited about. We can see that David Probert is in good form, 23% strike rate in the last 14 days, and a couple of these haven't even had. Ben Curtis hasn't ridden in the last 14 days, and apprentice Liam Brown has had no wins from his 2 runs. So it's a little bit of a stab in the dark here. I wouldn't dismiss any of those 4. Major Gatsby looks like he could be having a serious chance at the weights. He's just been risen £1 for its win last time out. £7 being taken off by the the jockey. And of course, Major Gatsby has got that positive trend bias, so we'll put a tick by that one. Twilight Tone, I will put a tick by that one. It's got a number of positives, but that £6 rise is a little bit worrying, although we do know we have a decent jockey on board there. Little Raven, I will dismiss this horse because it was risen £4 last time and then it finished 6th. Of course, there could be a number of reasons, maybe got stopped in running or whatever, but for me, I will dismiss this one because we're trying to narrow down the field. And Homemade Andrea comes out well on a number of the key stats. I will say with the just pop back to this here with the scroll across if I can. Robert Edry, as I mentioned there, has just had the 1 runner in the last 14 days, and that horse failed to win. However, if you look at this figure here, you can see that this has got 100%. It's got a mark of 100, and that is a percentage. Now we take this with a bit of a pinch of salt because as I say, we can see that he's only had the 1 runner, so those stats are basically around that one particular run. But that trainer form does signify that although the horse didn't win, the horse did run to form. Okay, so it may well have finished 2nd, 3rd. Well, we could see that it actually finished 5th, but it did run to form. So you take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. That although very limited data, just the 1 horse, but it does seem that his horses are running to form. So if you look at other stats, you can see there that George Bohey has a 53% figure there, and that means that half of his runners, around half of his runners have run to form. As you can see, he's had 17 runners in the last 14 days. Only the one winner, so that's a 6% strike rate, but around 53% of his runners have run to form. Okay, run as good as could be expected from past data. So always bear that in mind. So I'm going to also put a tick by, or am I? I'm very undecided with Homemade on Andrea. I'll put a question mark by Homemade Andrea. Okay, so we've narrowed it down to 3: Twilight Tone, Major Gatsby, and a possible Homemade Andrea. I'm now going to look at these columns here: the forecast, the hour odds, and I'm also going to put a column for live. Now, what this means is when these ratings were collated, which was last night, so that would be Monday evening around 7 o'clock, we can see that Twilight Tone forecast price was around 5 to 4, 2.25. All things considered, with the data and everything that we have here, our odds suggest for this horse to offer value should be around the 9 to 2 mark. Okay, so that is definitely at that time not offering value. So I'll just put them up there. Major Gatsby, we can see that when the ratings were collated, this horse was forecast around 5 to 1. Our odds suggest that this is offering around value. This is offering value because our odds suggest 6.02, which again is albeit the odd decimal little bit around 5 to 1. So that is key. Homemade Andrea, when the ratings were collated, the forecast price for this horse was 14 to 1. However, our odds suggest for this horse to offer value, we should be looking to get around 4 to 1. So that horse was definitely offering value. So we'll pop over now to Odds Checker, to the live odds, and let's see if there's been any sort of price movements. Just click off there. We need to go to there, and we need to go to Wolverhampton at 5 o'clock. Okay, let's see what we've got. Well, first of all, we can see there's no non-runners. That's great. So Twilight Tone is available now at 2 to 1. So that has drifted from last night's price of 5 to 4, but it's still offering nowhere near the value that I would be looking for this horse, because our odds suggest for this horse to offer value, it needs to be around 9 to 2. Major Gatsby is available at 5 to 2, so there's been some serious money for this horse. Remember, it was opened up around 5 to 1 when the ratings were collated. We can see all these blue squares suggest there's been money for this horse. Our odds suggested at the time that this horse should be 5 to 1, so if you could have got on board last night, you've got the 5 to 1, you could go each way. You're in with a good bet there possibly, but now it's been backed into 5 to 2, and that's not offering any value at all for me. Homemade Andrea, we can see that the forecast price for this horse was 14 to 1. Our odds suggest this horse should be 4 to 1 to offer some value, and it is now available at 28 to 1, so it's doubled in price since last night. Now, of course, you need to take this information with a pinch of salt. You could argue that Homemade Andrea is offering really good value, and of course it is, because our odds suggest for us to want to get involved, it should be around 4 to 1. We can get 28 to 1. Okay, now that means I shall be placing an each way bet on this horse, but it will be a very small each way wager, for the simple reason there seems to be no confidence behind this horse. It was opening up at 14 to 1. It has doubled in price. It is now available at 28 to 1. That is great because we get more value, but of course you take that, you have to read the markets. There's no interest in this horse at the moment, and you remember we'd narrowed the field down to 3, and this was the one that got a little bit of a question mark about it. There's no doubt it is offering value, so there will be an each way bet, albeit very small stakes on this horse. Congratulations if you're following this race and you got on board Major Gatsby last night. We got the value that we expected the horse to be. It's been backed in today and halved in price. And if you can remember, Major Gatsby has that positive draw bias. Is a course and distance winner, comes out well on all the key stats. And he's just off a mark £1 higher than its win last time out. So that could well be the one to be on, but it's not offering any value at all. So a tentative small each way bet on Homemade Andrea, and we shall be keeping a keen eye on this with a watching brief. I hope that has helped you anyway to see how you can use all the bits of information. Sometimes you can come up with things that you think, oh, you know, this is, for instance, this horse here, it's ranked 1, but is ranked quite low on the total ratings. What's the reasoning behind that? Well, we can see the trainer is has got a good RTF figure. You know, if you can get that sort of price, maybe it's offering good value because it's bigger than what our odds suggest. You know, that's the way to read the spreadsheet. Everybody's different. Everybody will use the data differently. That's me going through how I personally use the data. And of course, you can delve deeper and go into free websites like the Racing Post and maybe see why, after being in good form while Little Raven finished 6th, there may well be a very good reason for that, but this is just using the data that we can see in front of us. So hope that's helped, and don't forget, if you're not yet a member, get involved, because we've got that fantastic new part of the service which is offering system picks from our members. There is the one system, as I say, that's showing a profit at the moment. Very early doors. We've only been going 7 days. 50% strike rate. We've got that all-important Cheltenham Festival. Would be very interesting to see if that can give us a profit again this year. No reason why not, with over a 50% strike rate over the last 2 years. Over £600 and over a 230 return on investment over the last 2 years from this simple little system. And remember, you don't have to follow the criteria yourself. As soon as there's a qualifying pick, that selection will be added to the spreadsheet completely live. You can view the spreadsheet whenever you want. When there's a qualifying pick from any of those systems, not just the Cheltenham system, those selections are added to the spreadsheet and everything is collated to Betfair SP. So, not yet a member, get involved now. In readiness for the Cheltenham Festival, and whatever you're betting on today, if indeed you are having a bet, then the very best of luck to you. I will speak to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye.